I'm Saturday hauling for you guys today, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with some repurchases. I got another one of each shade of the Dr. Jart Premium BB Beauty Balm. I get number 1 light medium and number 2 medium deep. I typically like to put 2 pumps of the medium light medium with 1 pump of medium deep for kind of the summertime. And they used to only have these 2 shades, but they've since come out with a 3rd shade, which is even deeper than the number 2 medium deep shade. So I compared my medium deep to the one that I was currently using, which I have gotten those a couple months ago, and since then they've not only come out with that 3rd shade, but they've changed the formula. I was like, what did you do? So my older medium deep is a little bit darker than the current medium deep, and I'm wearing the newer ones on my face today because I wanted to see how my skin was going to react to them, because there are chemical sunscreens in the newer formula, whereas the older formula only had titanium dioxide and zinc. This newer one has octinoxate and octisalate. I probably butchered that, but I was kind of hesitant to put it on because typically chemical sunscreens give my face kind of a burning sensation. I didn't get that with those, so maybe it's the homoslate, or there's another chemical sunscreen that's used a lot in chemical sunscreens. Maybe it's that ingredient, I'm not sure. So I used these newer ones today to see how my skin would react to them compared to the old ones, because I've gone through so many tubes of this stuff, the older version at least. It's one of my favorite like go-to foundation products. For me, it's a medium buildable coverage, and it's got that high SPF. And I did find that this formula feels a little bit thinner on the skin, so I kind of had to work a little bit longer to kind of blend it in. I feel like the older formula was a little bit thicker, a little bit more coverage, and it didn't take me so long to kind of blend it in. So those are the biggest differences I've found thus far. I'm hoping like heck that this doesn't break me out, this newer formula. If it does, I'm going to be devastated and like on the hunt for a new high SPF foundation or BB cream. So I got those, and I'm still kind of in shock that they've switched the formula. The next repurchase I have is from DHC, and it's the Deep Cleansing Oil, and I've used this before. And I think I'm kind of going to stick with this one for a while. It does really, really well at removing makeup, like eyeliner, mascara, everything. And it washes off really clean as well. I do double cleanse with another balm. So I will use this to get all my makeup off, and then I'll kind of pat my face dry and go in with the Pharmacy Green Clean, which I absolutely love as well. But I feel like this does such a good job, and you get a good amount of product for a decent price, and it does not sting my eyes, and again, it washes clean. So I really like this guy. I also went ahead and purchased another one of the First Aid Beauty Fab Skin Lab Retinol Eye Cream with triple hyaluronic acid and skin saver complex. This is my second one of these as well. I'm at the bottom of the tube that I have. This is one of the only eye area friendly, for me at least, products that I found that contain retinol that don't like drive my eye area crazy. I have a very sensitive eye area that's prone to really getting irritated, like super red, scratchy, itchy skin with retinol products, like really bad. So I was so hesitant to put this around my eyes when I first got it, but I was just like, just do it. And initially when I first started using it, there was a slight irritation, but it was very minimal. The most minimal that I've ever experienced with getting a retinol around my eyes. And so I continued to use it, and that irritation has since gone away, and it was very minor. For me, however, this is not a standalone eye product for me because it's just not moisturizing enough, but I do lay this down first both morning and night, and then I top it during the daytime with SPF. I use the regular Josie Maran untinted SPF 47 around my eyes as well, and that's one of the only SPF sunscreen products that don't irritate my eyes as well. It goes around my eyes really well, the Josie Maran. So I put this on, and then I top it with the Josie in the morning, and then at night I use a thicker cream on top of this, just because this is not hydrating enough for my eye skin, especially if you're using retinol too. You need something that's really hydrating. But because it has that retinol in it, and I'm able to actually put a retinol around my eyes, I really like it, and I don't get any little bumps from it. So I'm super happy to have found a product that I can put around my eyes that has retinol in it, because it is one of those ingredients that's proven to help with fine lines and wrinkles. So I got another one of those. Then I purchased 3 more of the Cover FX monochromatic blush duos. Well, actually one's a bronzer and 2 are the blushes. So now I have both the bronzers and all the blushes because I really like them. I originally thought that I had purchased the lighter bronzer and I was using it. I was like, geez, this is really dark. And you guys were like, you bought the darker one. And I did, and I don't know what had happened or what, but I bought the darker one. So I wanted to get the lighter one and I went ahead and purchased that at Ulta. So this is the Sunkissed Bronze one, 0.51 total ounces of product in here. And these have got that baked gelée half that I love. What I like about having both either a satin matte on one side and then kind of that shimmer on the other is it's real versatile because you can mix them if you want a little bit more shine in either your blush or your bronzer. And so that's kind of how I've been using it, is kind of just dabbing between both of them. And this color is a lot better suited for my fair skin tone than the darker one, although I can make that darker one work. So let's go ahead and swatch this. The bronzer, again, I'd say it's like a satin matte. And then here's your lovely baked gelée, which I think looks super beautiful on the skin. Yeah, this is, oh, I've got all kinds of mess going on. I was swatching things earlier. But that is the Cover FX, what did I say, monochromatic bronzer duo matte plus shimmer in Sunkissed Bronze. Should I swatch it next to the darker one? Let me grab it. So the darker one is Suntan Bronze, which actually has a much redder undertone than the other one. But it is quite deeper. And I like both of them. The lighter one is a little bit easier to blend out on my fair skin, but I do like both of them. So that one is Suntan Bronze right there. And then I also went ahead and purchased the other two blush shades that I didn't get yet. And I got Spice Cinnamon, and that is the blush that I have on my cheeks today. Again, I went between the two shades and mixed them. So here is your packaging right there. And again, 0.51 ounces of product in here. And this is the shade Spiced Cinnamon. I think it's a really pretty one for the summertime as well. Baked gelée. And it went on really nice for me. I was originally thinking, you know, it might be a little harder to blend out because it's a deeper shade. But it's super pretty. Again, that's the blush that I have on my cheeks today. And it's Spiced Cinnamon. And then the other shade I got is Sweet Mulberry. And this one I'm a little intimidated by. It looks a little deep for me, but it's a pretty shade. I think it will be a good one going into kind of the fall. I think I can make it work though. I have not worn this one yet though. It's a pretty mauvey purple, that's for sure. I was swatching it that one day and my mom's like, it kind of looks like a bruise. Because I had it on my hand and I blended it out and I was like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. But there is the shade in Sweet Mulberry right there from Cover FX. I did stock up on the Essence Super Precise Eyeliner, long lasting and waterproof. I get this at Ulta. This is just my most used favorite liquid eyeliner. It has a really fine brush tip applicator. I wouldn't say it's the most matte. I know the NYX one is a little bit more matte than this one, but it is pretty matte, pretty black. It doesn't drag on the skin because a decent amount of product comes out on the brush. It's just my favorite. You guys have heard me talk about this for a while. When it's wet, it looks shiny, but it does dry down. So I picked up 4 more of those. And then I did go ahead and get another one of the Too Faced Fruit Cocktail Blush Duos. And this is in the shade Papaya Pop. I was in the store that one day and I bought those 2 shades and I kept thinking about this one. So I went ahead and purchased this one. So there's 0.22 ounces of product in here. And this has got, I would say this is kind of a satin sheeny kind of one on this side, and then this other half has got some really fine micro glitters in it. When I've been using it, I just swirl my brush in both the shades, but it's just a really pretty one for summer, and it smells sweet as well, which I appreciate. So when you mix them together, this half gives the kind of coral shade a little bit of a golden undertone to it. Let me get a little bit more of the blushy shade right there. You can see the tone of it. So that is the Too Faced Papaya Pop Fruit Cocktail Blush Duo right there. Also from Ulta, Lime Crime came out with a new like mini eye palette, and then also this Lime Crime Sunkissed Face Palette, and I just thought the colors looked really intriguing to me for the face. They're like some shades that I haven't seen in a palette before. Mainly that yellow highlighter shade, which I'll show you here in a minute. So on the back, this is made in the USA. There are 6 shades that are 0.13 ounces per shade. The packaging is a cardboard, and I have worn all of the shades in here. There's a matte bronze, a shimmer bronze. You've got a matte, kind of, I would call that well, it's a corally orange shade right here. And then you've got this really vivid yellow highlighter. When I have used it, I've mixed those 2 shades, and when I use the bronzers with these blushes and those highlights, it does create a really pretty cheek on the skin. So these 2 shades right here are matte, and then I would say the formula on these 3 are relatively similar, and this guy here is a little bit more frosty, kind of chunkier, thicker texture, so you kind of have to really buff it into the skin. But when I wore this with the little eye palette I'm going to show you as well, which I think these shades could be used for eyes as well. But the look turned out so pretty that day. I remember really liking it. I haven't gotten brave enough to use that yellow by itself, so I had mixed it, but because it's really yellow. So this is, if I buff it in here, you can see that it's a pretty yellow highlighter. So I was just mixing the 2. I haven't worn it by itself yet. And then these bottom 3 shades. I really like the palette. I think it's a fun one, definitely for summer. Look at that blush. So pretty. So that's the Lime Crime Sunkissed Face Palette right there. And again, I got this at Ulta. And then I also got the Venus XS Sunkissed. And when I first saw these online, I was like, there looks like very similar shades in both. And there is, the main difference being the yellow in here is kind of a matte. And then this shade right here has got a little bit of a sheen to it as opposed to the matte one in the face palette. They're not exact colors, but they're similar. So they work really well together. And again, I think that you can use, I think you could use these shades on the face and then the face palette on the eyes as well. You can kind of use them interchangeable, but when I use the 2 products together, I just really liked the look that came out of it. I felt super summery that day. But this is the little XS eye palette in Sunkissed. And this shade is the only true matte. This one's, I would call it like a satin matte because there is a sparkle in it. But it kind of feels like a matte base. So there is the XS eye palette, and then there's the face palette. So definitely very similar colors between the 2 right there. Then also online I got the Anastasia Loose Pigment in Icy. When I had made it into the Ulta store, they did not have these in yet because I wanted to swatch them. And I kind of bought this with the intention of just using it as a face highlighter, which is how I have been using it. And it's more of a more finely milled, very mica heavy pigment that doesn't have quite the translucency as the Snowflake highlighter does, but I still like it on the cheeks. I think that it looks pretty. It's just a little bit of a different effect. I don't think it looks quite as wet looking as Snowflake does, but it's still very pretty. So this is the shade Icy, and this is what the packaging on this guy looks like. So let me get some out here so I can show you what it looks like. So there it is right there. Let me get some more out, just so you can see it's a little bit more opaque. That's pretty heavy swatch though, and it's definitely more finely milled. But I do really like it as a highlighter. I can definitely feel the mica in there. And then this is super exciting. I did purchase 5 products from the Luminess and Sir John Lion King collection. This is the box packaging, which I think it's super pretty. Sir John is Beyonce's makeup artist, so he collabed with the brand Luminess, which I actually don't have any products from Luminess. Aren't they I think they're an airbrush brand, right? I purchased 2 of the lip products. I got the Hakuna Matata lip crayon, and there is 0.09 ounces of product in here. This one has got the Lion King on the cap with kind of some trees around the tube. And then this is a really, it's a sheer nude. Like, I was expecting it to have a little bit more pigment in it. I guess I'd almost call it like a gloss stick. So it's like a nude gloss, which I think will look really pretty over the lipstick that I'm going to show you. I haven't worn it like that. I've just worn the crayon by itself with a lip liner, and I like it like that, but I think this would also layer really pretty with the lipstick. They're actually calling it a tinted lip balm, so that's in Hakuna Matata. I love the packaging on this collection. I think it's awesome. And then I got one of the lipsticks, and this is a matte lipstick, and it's in the shade Pounce. It was the lighter of the two shades that came out. I believe that's the only lip balm shade that they came out with. And this is a little bit darker than I kind of thought it was going to be, but it is matte. It does go on a little bit patchy, so I kind of have to really blend it in. But the shade is, it looks like a good one for me on my lighter skin tone for fall. But that's the shade Pounce right there. And then let me show you this packaging. I think it is so pretty. It's got like a lion, lion on there. And then it says Sir John and Luminess. And then it says Lion King on there because the movie's coming out. How exciting, right? Reliving my childhood. So those are the two lip products that I got. And then I also purchased the Circle of Life highlighter. There's 0.27 ounces of product in here, or 7.8 grams. Look at this packaging. I can't get over it. It's not a sticker either. It's like on the actual plastic packaging here. Now this, I knew going into it that it was going to be too deep for me, but I was like, well, I could use it as an eyeshadow, and I actually did. I have got the gold on the inner portion of my lid today is this highlighter, but it is much too deep by itself for a highlighter on my skin tone, but I can about imagine how pretty it would look on a deeper skin tone. This one says it's made in China. I just looked on the boxes and it appears the whole collection is made in China. But this is the highlighter, and I'm just living for the packaging on this. The texture of this is a little bit thicker formula. You could definitely feel that there's some silicones in there. So since I haven't worn it on the face, I couldn't tell you, but I would say, because usually these thicker type of formulas will emphasize some texture and they really need to be buffed into the skin. But this is just much too deep for me, and I do have it on as an eyeshadow. So that is the Circle of Life highlighter right there. And then I also purchased both of the palettes. The face palette has got, I would say that's maybe Simba on there, and then the eyeshadow palette has got, I would say that's Nala right there, but they're different lion faces on there. So that's the eye palette, and here's the face palette. So I'll go ahead and swatch the Kingdom 6-piece sculpting palette first, and there are 6 shades in here that are 4 grams per shade. I'm not gonna lie, I really bought this for the packaging, but I am happy with both the eye palette. These products are nice, but I did have to work a little bit to blend them into the skin. So I have got these 2 shades kind of mixed as a bronzer on my face, and then I went back in with this one up here for the very, very back of the cheekbone to kind of really carve it out and kind of see what it would do, because it's a cooler toned shade. And then these 3, they're really, really pigmented. So blending them out, I had to work at it a little bit because they're not a super sheer type of product. So here are the 6 shades, which I think these will make really good eyeshadows. They're all matte and they're really pigmented. They almost feel more eyeshadow-like than kind of face product-like, but I do have these 2 shades and this guy on my face today. I did have to work at them just a little bit to blend them out because they are, like, they're super pigmented shades. See, they almost, they almost appear like shadows. And then these shades. So those are the swatches for the Kingdom 6-piece sculpting palette. Did I mention I purchased all of this stuff on the Ulta website? And then the eyeshadow palette is the Can't Wait to Be Queen 12-piece eyeshadow palette. There are 12 shades, 1.62 grams or 0.057 ounces per shade is what it's saying on the back. So this is the one with, I would say that's Nala. And then inside here are your shadows. So you've got 5 matte shades. You've got King, Pride Rock, African Clay, Safari Khaki, and Wisdom. So these 3 and then these 2 are matte shades, and then you've got 5 really foiled shades. This top row and then this guy have got some like micro glitters in it, and then there are 2 really metallic shades that have a similar formula to those ones, except for I don't see the kind of little glitters in these 2 shades like I do these ones. So this is the palette that I have on my eyes today, and I think the look is really pretty. I did have to bring in a lighter shade, both like that highlighter for the inner portion of my eye, and then I also used Brulee from Wet n Wild for underneath the brow bone, because all of these shades are a little bit mid-tone deeper type of shades, but I think the formula is really nice. The mattes blended out really well. I had very little fallout. These shades are, again, a thicker textured formula. You can feel some silicones in there, but they're very foiled. So let's swatch this guy. I should have used that blue today. So there is the top row, and then this middle row. I really love this shade right here. I've got that on the center of my lid. And these mattes. The mattes they're really soft feeling, but they're like almost creamy, but still substantial, and they're pigmented and they blended really well for me. So there are the next four. I think I got a chunk of a different shade in there. Whoops. And then here's the bottom row. Really good blend out shades in there. It's not quite standalone for me again because I needed to bring in some lighter shades, but the colors are pretty. They're pigmented, they blended well. There's some pretty shades in there. So there are the swatches for the Can't Wait to Be Queen 12-piece eyeshadow palette right there. And then Rephr Brushes sent me 3 more of their brushes. They recently launched on Kickstarter, which I'm the worst at like internet stuff. I'm not the best social media person with like Instagram and all that. I don't know how to operate that stuff very well. I'm gonna link that below. Zero affiliation or anything like that. It's just a link to the Kickstarter for Rephr because they are coming out with a full collection of brushes soon. And I believe it's 50% off if you purchase them on pre-order on Kickstarter. And there's a couple other different bundle deals. So I will link that down below because I love these brushes. And one of the biggest differences that I find with the Rephr brushes compared to other handmade Japanese brushes that I have in my collection are they have a firmness to them that still retains the softness, which a lot of my brushes are super soft, but they have a little bit more flexibility in the bristles to them. These ones are a little bit more firm, and usually a little more firm brush kind of has a little bit more scratchiness to it. I don't find that with these, so they have a little bit more firmness while still retaining that real softness, so they give a really nice blend out. These are the 3 new ones that they came out with. They came out with the P07F brush, which is a pointed blender. So like I would kind of use it through this area right here to blend out shadow. Then they also came out with the P07E brush, which is just a really great smaller blender brush. Again, soft, like the tips are super soft, no scratchiness to it, but there's a firmness to it that's really going to buff out that shadow. And then this next brush is the P10A brush, and this one really surprised me because it's like a jumbo smudger kind of. It's bigger than most smudgers and it's rounded on the end, and I've been using this every single day, and so I put down my crease shade and then I go in with that transition and I blend it out with that, and it provides a more specific transition shade for me where it doesn't get so blown out, which I really like. So I've been using this little brush non-stop, and that one is the P10A. So you've got the P10A, the P07E, and the P07F right there. Again, Rephr did send these to me. I don't have any affiliation. I'm not being compensated or anything like that. I just really like their brushes. I think they're great quality, and I love some of the shapes they come out with. The texture of the bristles, like I said, soft while still being firm, really provides a great blend out. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the link to their Kickstarter down below. Again, no affiliation or anything like that, but it'll take you to the site so you guys can get some more information on them. And then lastly, I did purchase 4 of the new Charlotte Tilbury Hot Lips 2 lipsticks. I was able to get 4 in different packaging with all colors that I knew I was going to wear, which I was super excited about because the site does not have the option to choose the case with the color. Michelle Wong, who is also on YouTube, did a video on these and kind of pointed some of those things out, which I'll link her channel down below for you guys. But you can't choose the lipstick with the case. I would have liked that because I really wanted the leopard case as well, but the lipstick shades that came with that golden leopard case I wasn't going to wear. I'm still contemplating, but I'm like, you're not going to wear that shade, so. So these are the boxes right here, and again, they're all nude shades that I know that I'm going to wear. And the one that I have on my lips today is Angel Alessandra, and I have it on with the Iconic Nude Lip Cheat, also from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the one with the panther on it. I was like, I have to have that panther packaging. This is the one that I would have purchased regardless if the shade I wasn't going to wear, because I love this packaging. I think it's super, super pretty. I love the shade of this lipstick as well. It's a nude that pulls really, really warm, borderline like an orange tint, which goes really, really well with warm eyeshadow looks, which are super in. So I love this shade of nude. I think it is stunning. Again, Charlotte Tilbury makes some of my absolute favorite lipsticks. The formula is great. They feel comfortable. They last nicely. They have a pretty shine. They smell like vanilla. The cases are refillable, so you can just pull this out and then refill it with a different lipstick. One of the things Michelle Wong pointed out as well is these tubes, even though they're refillable, the sticker for the lipstick is on the bottom of the tube and not on the refill product, which it would have been nice to have it kind of the opposite, like no sticker on here, so you could switch out and then have the color on the bullet. But anyway, you just pop it back in there like that. I feel like the base of the lipstick has got a weight to it, but the cap doesn't. It feels substantial enough to me, and I think that the case with the lipstick was $37 if I'm not mistaken, and I'm super, super happy with the ones that I got. So that one is Angel Alessandra, and this is the one I have on today. Then this next one is In Love with Olivia. I think this is the deepest. It's a nude pink right there. So that's In Love with Olivia, and the packaging on this one looks like that. And then I got the red cheetah packaging, and the color in here is Dance Floor Princess. Again, a pinky nude. Right there. So that one is Dance Floor Princess. And then the last shade that I got is JK Magic, and here is the packaging on this one. I love these. I love these. I just love these. And this one, again, is a nude shade. So here is JK Magic. So those two are a little bit more pink. I love this. It's not every day that I find such a pretty warm nude to go with a really like warm nude kind of eye look. I love that color, that Angel Alessandra. I love all of these shades. I'm gonna wear, I know I'm gonna get a ton of use out of all of these colors. So that is all for my haul today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.